Hey guys, I've been getting a lot of questions on the carnivore diet and how it conflicts with my recommendation of 7 to 10 cups of vegetables. So let's just kind of talk about it. I think the carnivore diet has its place. I think a lot of people can benefit from it, and maybe even you should try it to see if it makes you feel better, but I want to give you some additional data. I personally don't do it. I just feel really good on the combination of animal products and vegetables. But if you have digestive problems, if you get bloating, if you have constipation, you definitely don't want to do a lot of vegetables. And some people do better on a smaller amount of vegetables so they can start building up their microflora in here. And if you have the condition called SIBO, small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, you don't want to do a lot of vegetables because it's going to feed the microbes that are in your small intestine. But the benefit of this diet is that you're dropping your insulin considerably. So most people have high insulin. So you're going to drop that. You're going to improve a lot of conditions with the heart, with the arteries, with inflammation, because it's a zero carbohydrate diet. Okay, so that's really good. Also, if you have constipation and your bowels are sluggish, by reducing fiber, you're going to instantly feel better. Okay, but now let's just look at the flip side. Some people say, well, animal products are more nutrient dense. Not necessarily true. Unless you're consuming organ meats. So if you're doing the carnivore diet, but you're not doing liver or brain or heart or kidney or bone marrow, and you're just doing the meat, the muscle, okay, only, I think you're making a big mistake. Let's just take a look at 1 cup of kale versus 3 ounces of chicken versus 3 ounces of fish. Okay, this is salmon. Potassium per cup is 375 milligrams, okay? But of course, if I was going to do a kale salad, I would do at least 5. So we times this times 5. Okay, chicken has 220 milligrams of potassium. Fish has 300 milligrams of potassium. So you say, well, I'm just going to eat a lot more fish. There's some people out there that are consuming 2 or 3 or 4 pounds of meat per day, okay? So we're getting away from this moderate protein and we're really doing a high protein diet. How are you going to keep your proteins moderate on this diet? It's going to be very difficult, okay? There is a lot of data on excessive amounts of protein in decreasing your longevity. I'll put a link down below. I think I may have done a video on that. Let's look at magnesium. 1 cup of kale will provide 7% of the requirements of magnesium, okay? 3 ounces of chicken will provide 6%, and fish will provide 5%. Okay, all right. B6 will provide 10% from the kale. Chicken provides 25%, and fish provide 25%. So it's going to give you a lot more B6, but only 25%. Okay, then we have iron. 5% for kale, 4% for chicken, and 1% for fish. All right, now let's look for vitamin C. 1 cup of kale will give you 134% of your requirements. Okay, that's pretty high. That's just 1 cup. Chicken, 0. Fish, 5%, but it does give you 5%. Okay, vitamin D, 0 from kale, 1% from chicken, 0 from fish. Calcium, 10% from kale, 1% from chicken, 0 from fish. Vitamin A, 133%. Now, this is not the active form. It's a beta-carotene. It's a pre-vitamin A, but still, there's a lot of benefits in phytonutrients. So there's anti-cancer properties in phytonutrients. There's not a lot of anti-cancer properties in meat that I know about, but maybe there's a study. I haven't seen one. And then we have 3 ounces of chicken give you 0 vitamin A, and for fish it's 0. Carbs, 6 grams, but 0 for chicken and 0 for fish. So vegetables give you the phytonutrients, which have a lot of benefits health-wise that go beyond vitamins and minerals. They also have vitamins and minerals. So some vegetables have anti-nutrient properties in which they block certain things, okay, like minerals. If you consume fermented vegetables, you will lessen those amounts. But I have not seen a big problem with this right here as far as people becoming depleted when they consume vegetables. But there is something called phytic acid, which is an anti-nutrient. But phytic acid has very powerful anti-cancer properties. Another name for that is called IP6. A lot of research on that. Because one of the mechanisms, it actually blocks iron which combines with something called the hydroxyl radical, which is basically it's a free radical that creates a lot of damage. It needs iron or copper, but phytic acid can block that, reducing the damage from this radical right here. So it stabilizes that free radical. It's one of the only antioxidants that will do that. And the thing about iron, it is true that animal products have a lot more absorbable iron. Now here's the issue. A lot of people have too much iron, okay? And too much iron is dangerous in the body. It's very reactive. It creates a lot of free radical issues and very corrosive to your arteries. And iron is not eliminated easily throughout the body. So when we consume it, it doesn't go out through like a potassium does. So you tend to retain iron. So these vegetables are going to actually help balance this, especially the ones that have phytic acid. So we really don't need the amount of iron unless you're losing iron as a female because you're menstruating each month. Maybe then have some more, but for men, I don't recommend it. Anyway, I wanted to give you my opinion on the carnivore diet. I'm not saying it's not a good thing for some people, so you might want to try it on yourself to see if it benefits you. So you can see from this chart that the large amount of vitamin C that kale has and other vegetables have. So if you're going to do the carnivore diet, you may not need as much vitamin C. And you're also going to improve insulin sensitivity, which is going to increase the absorption of all nutrients. So that's a really good thing. But we don't know the long-term effects of doing this yet. Time will tell. Vitamin C deficiencies take at least 3 months to show up. Even the first sign of a vitamin C deficiency, which is fatigue. So you might feel great for a period of time and then start feeling tired because you're developing a vitamin C deficiency. So these are just some points I wanted to bring up and talk about. And if you're going to do a carnivore diet, you might want to do more organ meats. You may want to add some fermented vegetables like sauerkraut because that'll totally give you way more vitamin C than you need. All right, thanks for watching. Hey, if you're liking this content, please subscribe now, and I will actually keep you updated on future videos. Hey, before you leave, I just wanted to give you a little quick history on some of the books that I wrote. This was one of the first books. It's called Dr. Berg Body Shapes. It was my attempt at writing about body types. What was very interesting about this book is I actually did all the images myself. Don't ask me why. They look actually not quite as professional as some of the images that I have in the new book. But anyway, this is my first attempt right here called Dr. Berg's Body Shape Diets. And then I wrote a book more extensive called The 7 Principles of Fat Burning. I don't even have a copy anymore, actually, because it's outdated. The next book, I put about 1,000 hours into this one right here called The New Body Type Guide. Major updates on the body types. I put a lot of energy into this. It has professional images, graphics, all sorts of things. Now, the problem with this book is it doesn't really describe what this is really about. Body types are only a small portion of what's in this book. And that's why I changed the name to the Healthy Keto Plan, okay? If you happen to have this book, you don't really need this book because there's only very, very minor updates. But if you don't have this, you need to get this one right here. This book goes into every single detail that you would ever want to know about. It goes into the 7 principles of fat burning. It goes into hormones, the body types, the basic keto plan. It goes into intermittent fasting. I talk about the 10 fat burning triggers and blockers and fat burning strategies, with a lot of details in every single chapter. I go into body issues that interfere with losing weight. There's very few people that just have a weight problem. They have a lot of body issues, whether it's sleeping problems, stress problems, inflammation, menopause. I cover that extensively in this book. Then I talk about how to get rid of stress, and I show you a technique. Then I get into exercising. And then I have a lot of really good recipes in this book as well. So this is a good reference guide. On my website, if you get this book, you get this one free. It's called Healthy Keto and Intermittent Fasting. This is the shortcut, quick guide to this book. And the reason I created this book is to have you, within 45 minutes, learn how to do keto, okay, in intermittent fasting, exactly what you need to do. Then you can fill in the blanks with this book right here. So right now I'm doing a special. If you get this book, you get this one totally free, or you can go to Amazon and get these individually. So I just want to clarify the difference between this book and this updated one right here, if you don't have this, you need to get this right here. That way you can get the exact correct information to do it healthily.